the show. I am your host, Suzanne Monk, host of the only live Periscope Trump newscast on Periscope, Trump Talk US. Welcome everybody to the show. You will excuse the background noise. My lovely neighbors are having a block party. And it was a little rough for me because I am probably the only Trump supporter on my block. In fact, I'm definitely the only Trump supporter on my block. So they're outside dancing, having a good time, and enjoying block party fun. But I'm in here doing some Trump news. And I'll go back out, have a glass of wine, avoid talking about politics, because what are you going to do? The neighbors, they don't like Trump, but I do. Because I like what's best for America. If I live in Chicago, if I hung my Trump sign outside, it would get stolen and my house would get vandalized. So I'm not going to do that. That's why I do the show on the inside. Because I live in a progressive nightmare city. Other people live in awesome places. I wrote about this in my book. Some of you might have checked this out at some point. The Semi-Essential Trump Supporters 2016 Election Survival Guide Primary Edition talks a lot about different types of Trump people. Because there are some people who can be totally Trump warriors, paint their truck Trumpy, drive around, fine. If I even put like a tiny little Trump sticker on the back of my car, flat tires every day. There are people who are getting punched in the face because of Trump shirts. It's absolutely, depends on where you live. You have to be safe, booze. You have to be safe. So we're here in the studio. Although today I had to let my neighbor in to use the bathroom. And you always got to explain yourself. And I just explained myself, look, I'm not voting for Hillary. You'll have to deal with it. You will just have to deal with it. So we're not at the question and answer. If you want to wait, now I appreciate you haters want to chime in and ask questions. If you wait till we get through the news, which is why everybody else is here, I'm happy to answer your questions. You might actually learn something about Trump in the meantime. So if you're afraid of that, quick, click away and go troll somebody else right now. But if you can stand a little bit of information, I actually will politely answer your questions. And everybody knows that. So let's talk about what's been going on in the news. As of course, Donald Trump he talked today in Fairfield, Connecticut. Excellent speech. I played some of it on Facebook, just a little bit of it live. He did some, he's starting to understand that it is a movement. It is a movement to take back our country, not just politically, but economically, to restore the nation to its ability to provide for all different kinds of people, all different kinds of jobs. And Trump is really understanding he is the messenger of that. We, the people, are joining together to send him to Washington to make these changes as a whole. And so it was an excellent speech. RSBN.TV will have the speech, so you can take a look at it. I played a few clips of it because it was just so meaningful. They even played it on C-SPAN for a little while. So then they played Hillary, and I clicked that off right quick because I can't listen to Hillary. I try to listen to just get information, but makes my tummy hurt. So, Trump talked a lot and continues to talk about the election being rigged. You know why? Because the election is rigged. The election is going to be rigged. It makes my ears hurt too. The election, look, we already saw what happened in Wisconsin with Ted Cruz, and in Utah and Colorado. We already saw in the various places, just even in the Republican Party, where shenanigans went on and manipulations in order to try to make sure that the vote went a certain way. We already saw that. We saw the same thing in the Democratic primary, not just this year in 2008, but also in many ways this year. And there has been significant evidence, including with the WikiLeaks, that in fact the election was rigged and manipulated against Bernie Sanders. And that we saw the coin tosses all turn the same. We saw many, many instances in which there are manipulation. We have also seen many articles and many cases of scientists, former Diebold machine engineers, people working in the voting machine industry who are clear in coming out and letting us know how easily you can manipulate a voting machine in order to turn the vote a certain way. So we know that that's a possibility, and we know it happens. We also know of a case here in Illinois where in early voting, even the candidate, one of the local candidates was voting for himself, could not vote for himself. And the vote kept turning Democratic. And he, of course, reported it. Not everyone is going to pay that kind of attention. So we know that that is also an opportunity to steal votes, not to mention all of the traditional manipulations we do here in Chicago of just multiple voting and voting people voting who are not actually alive or are eligible to vote. We all know we fight in any of the progressive states, we fight voter ID laws as if they were the devil because we don't actually want any way to protect ourselves from these types of attacks. And of course the left, someday I'm waiting for the hater to chime in, you don't have any evidence of voter fraud. Many cases. You guys just ignore them. It's ridiculous. So, yes, this election is going to be rigged. This is what we're going to do to prevent that. Now, I don't blame you. I would leave Chicago too if I didn't. I love Chicago though, and I feel like I'm going to try to make a difference here. And if not, then I don't know, move over people in Austin. So I'm glad you're mentioning that. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. Trump is calling for people to volunteer at the polls to watch the polls. I know it's not necessarily on the website yet when I looked at it, but they have information where you can sign up in different states. I'm going to look up the information for my state, make sure that I can do it here. Everyone can get involved and be a poll watcher. Be at the polls all day to make sure that these voter fraud instances are as limited as possible. If we're watching, it's going to be much harder to manipulate these polls and to steal votes. So this is an excellent way to get involved. We need a landslide election. We need to, up until the election, keep getting out the vote. Keep sharing information about why Hillary is a horrible, corrupt candidate. Keep sharing information about why the media is lying about Trump and what is the truth about Trump and what is the truth about his policies. Keep sharing. Talk to your friends. Get out the vote. Make sure you're Trump friends. Make sure you're even mildly conservative friends. If you have Ted Cruz friends who are still never Trump whining, nag them. Do whatever you need to do. We're going to get out the vote. As many people as possible. We need a landslide vote. But once we get those voters on election day coming to the polls, we need to watch those polls. So I want everybody listening to this broadcast, share the broadcast so other people hear it and they know. Get out there, volunteer to be a poll watcher. I'm going to find some information. Hopefully I will try to post some more information on how to do that on the Trump Talk page. If I can't find it, look for yourselves and post it on the page for us. Trump Talk US on Facebook. Share the information with us and I'll share it with everybody else and we'll just pass that around. But we all want to get a chance to be poll watchers to make sure we're watching this election and you guys get out the vote like never before. We have like 87 days or something to save this country. Yeah, I paused with a real serious face because I'm really, really serious that we have a very limited period of time to ensure the future of America. Very important this year. Very, very important. For no other reason, if you've been checking out the news, there are still rampant terrorist attacks going on. There's 85 days, thank you. There's been multiple shootings in a shopping mall. There's been several bombings in Thailand and resort areas. We are in a global war with terror. We are in World War, as I've been saying for more than a decade now. World War III is a sparse war against terror. That's the world war we are in. We are warring on all continents. Maybe not Antarctica, but if they could, they would make ice bombs because they would do whatever they could. If we were there, they would come and try to kill us there. That's the problem that we're fighting. So we're fighting a global war, and we continue to see that over and over and over again. And Donald Trump spent a lot of time talking this week about Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton being the founders of ISIS, being so crucial and making such bad decisions that their decisions, in fact, created the organization we know as ISIS, either by creating a power of vacuum, whether by providing weapons, whether by strengthening the enemies of ISIS so that ISIS would be stronger, or weakening the enemies, causing countries who are otherwise containing their terrorist activity to collapse and thus fall into these hands. Every decision that Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama made as an administrative unit added to the growth of ISIS we see now. And I haven't even mentioned pulling out of Iraq the way we did. The Barack bug out. I haven't even mentioned that. So this is the problem we're having. This is, in fact, we need strong leadership to both eliminate ISIS, to decimate ISIS, to take the oil, prevent them from being able to make the resources they have, and to start blowing them up until we have taken back the land. We can create enough of an environment to create safe zones in Syria and actually deal with some of the problems more rationally without ISIS fighters chopping off heads and burning Christians and killing and maiming and raping and holding whole towns hostage. So we have to go blow them up. We have to kill them. It's not that hard of a thing to do. Once we are committed to doing it. We haven't had a president who's committed to do it. He keeps talking about he's flying all these sorties, he's doing all these bombings. No, ask the military personnel who are actually operating in that environment. They will gladly tell you, we're doing very little. We're doing very limited bombings. So, will there need to be boots on the ground? Yes, there will probably need to be some boots on the ground, at least in a training capacity or a coordinative capacity, so that we can control the organization of the Kurds and the Iraqi government, that's why it fell apart, because we took away all the boots on the ground, and we didn't leave people there who were keeping the coordination going so that we could keep a unified front against the enemy. So we let the Kurds be one part, and then we let the government and everybody divided up. So, yes, that is always a problem. We're going to talk about that in a second. He's saying that the reason you can't go blow them up is they're hiding amongst innocent people. I'd like to recall that every other war, in fact, until recently, war basically was going to be, there was going to be situations in which innocent people died. If you've seen World War II, if you've seen World War I, if you've seen the devastation after these wars, we were bombing cities. You're not bombing just military bases. This is really the first time. There is some cuckolding of our military, our control, that prevents us somehow from having any collateral. We're supposed to fear any collateral damage. Now, collateral damage is unavoidable in any military situation, even when we try with precision bombs and surgical strikes and all of this other crap. All of that other crap. You still are going to have, quote unquote, innocent people killed. Now, what are innocent people? Are the families of terrorists who know about the terrorist attack and are aiding and abetting the terrorists, are they innocent people? No. No, they're not. The children, perhaps, but the wives, the adult uncles, aunts, grandpas, these people who are operating and helping hide, they are part of the problem. So I don't have a lot of, I'm not really upset if we blow up a few people who are facilitating terror. Now, on the other hand, are some innocent people going to... It's not a picnic. It's called a war for a reason. Yes, a few people are going to die. But like we mentioned, taking the oil is going to solve far more problems than we perceive. We're not going to need to carpet bomb every single ISIS stronghold if we take the oil and the means to distribute the oil. So don't just blow up the oil. Blow up the port that they're shipping the oil out of. Or control it, move an aircraft carrier into the port and stop everything coming out of there. If they can't sell the oil, they can't make money. Then they're going to make money continued off ransom. Now, I'm sorry. That's one of the hardest ways, but we're not going to be able to go door to door and just kill ISIS. You don't kill cockroaches one by one by finding them because you're afraid you might kill a butterfly. Yeah, you definitely need to take the oil. And not only we can destroy their means to procure the oil, but then literally commandeer, hold the land that the oil is on, and start to use that to pay for some of these damages. So, yeah, unfortunately, cockroaches don't cut off heads. You're right. That's right. So, all the more reason we shouldn't maybe pussyfoot around trying to kill them. Just my personal opinion. So, terror is still rampant. We still need Trump to deal with that, and it's not getting worse. Now, the news is trying to avoid talking about it, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. The news is also trying to avoid talking about Hillary's health. Hillary Clinton has some severe health problems that they are hiding from us, that the media and the Hillary campaign is hiding from us. Both the WikiLeaks organization and Gooster 2.0 now have been leaking documents discussing Hillary's health problems. Blood clotting, perhaps Parkinson's, some severe issues that makes her very unstable as a person to be in charge of the country. If we were in any normal election, this information, yeah, early onset dementia, exactly. If any other election, if we were in any other election, this information would disqualify her. And if we had had this information at the beginning, when they ran the primaries and there were 4 or 5 Democrats running, we wouldn't be talking about Hillary Clinton right now. So, but we are, unfortunately. So in the coming days, I'm going to start talking more and more about the health problems that Hillary has, because some of the information we need to share with the other people. Making sure people understand that Hillary Clinton is not fit physically to be president and that her health is a danger. And then we need to seriously look at who the hell is Tim Kaine, because it's very likely he would end up president if elected. So we can't let either of those things happen, and we certainly need to get that information out there. Not mentally or physically fit. Absolutely correct. Okay, so is that a question? We're going to do questions in a minute. Let me do rallies. Form your complaint about Trump in a question. So, hold on. Let me do rallies real quick. Donald Trump will be in Youngstown, Ohio, 2 p.m. on Monday. West Bend, Wisconsin, 7:30 p.m. on, I believe, Tuesday. Mike will be in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 3:30. That's Monday, and Roswell, New Mexico, and then I think Manchester, New Hampshire on Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll get those, of course, taken care of with what days they are. They're on DonaldJTrump.com. Click /schedule. If you click on the schedule, that's a great way to, that's where I get all the information. So you guys can just look it up, and I'll share it with you again, because that's what I do. If you hear the music in the background, it's my block party. So they continue to go on. Also on DonaldJTrump.com, if you are somebody who donates to Donald Trump is offering gold card membership today for only $49 as opposed to the usual $200 donation. So you get your name, a little gold card, it says Trump, it's very exciting. It's probably not that exciting, but if anything motivates everybody, if it motivates you to donate and help Donald Trump raise money against Hillary Clinton, that's all going to be vital and necessary. Because we need to be able to spend money on radio ads and all of these things, particularly in the battleground states. That's what's really going to hit Hillary hard and defeat these negative polls, these fake information, and all of this media smearing, is to continue to buy ads, fight her a little bit traditionally as well as on the internet. So we need to do that, and Donald Trump needs to continue to raise money to do that, not just for him but also for the down ticket. You guys, let's just do this for a second. The down ticket races, everyone keeps talking about Donald Trump is going to be hard for them. He's going to be great for them because he's raising money for them. And you got to spend money to win these elections. So Donald Trump is actually helping the down ticket races. And I suspect, seeing voter turnout so high when Donald Trump won the primary, he will also bring a lot of voters into those races. So the RNC is, the Never Trumpers are crazy. They're crazy. You guys see people with Trump's going to sabotage his own campaign, even though he beat 16 other people and had record numbers. Crazy. And you continue to think that you don't need Donald Trump's fundraising money when you need it more than ever. And you continue to think you don't need this draw that Donald Trump has created in this movement. And somehow he's a detriment to your precious, barely held on to Republican House seats and Senate seats. You guys are barely holding on to him because you got people like Mitch McConnell and John McCain and Paul Ryan sitting up there not doing what they were sent to do. That's why you guys have a problem with those down ticket races. So you're lucky Trump is raising money for you, because nobody likes you. Okay? Congress, low approval rating. Someone's going to give you a bunch of money to hold on to Congress without some motivation. You know who the motivation is this year? Trump. So let's do that. We'll do question answer. My Trump reason of the day. You know what my Trump reason of the day is? Fundraising capacity. Donald Trump can raise more money than any other candidate. He raised $95 million in the last 5 weeks to compete with Hillary. And effectively did so. She didn't raise much more than that. A few $1 million more. So, on $50, on small donations too, Hillary's making money hand over fist from these hedge fund companies, from big banks, from Wall Street. Donald Trump is raising money grassroots style from the people, and he's holding his own with Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party and her big Wall Street banks. So, why am I supporting Donald Trump? This is why. Right here. Because Donald Trump can raise the money necessary to win and to hold on to Congress. So, let's do question and answer. If you have in the form of a question. She does, because Hillary has rallies at Holiday Inn Express. She can't fill a room. So, Donald Trump fills rooms all the time. He has more supporters. He has the momentum. If you look at the vote totals between the Republicans and the Democrats down, down, down. Republicans up, up, up. So, if you have a question, in the form of a question, I'll answer the question. So I'm going to give you guys a few seconds. Block party's still going. Do you notice how the haters, like, they never have any questions when it's question and answer time? They want to, like blather the questions in the middle. That is not a question. That is actually a statement. But see, a question would have, like, does Trump just want publicity, or does he really want to be president? See, that's a question. Just putting a sentence and then adding a bunch of question marks to the end of it isn't really a question. So, Rock, I'm going to answer that by answering her other question. Is Donald Trump just trying to get famous and more publicity? Really? Is that what you really think? That Donald Trump, he's given up his reality TV show. He's given up golfing and his posh lifestyle. He's running around. People are trying to kill him. He's had 3 assassination attempts. Everybody all of a sudden thinks he's a racist, sexist bigot, when before he was, he helped boxing, he helped MMA, he helped many organizations that have a lot of Latino, African Americans. He was an innovator in women's issues in the construction industry. He's already famous and rich. So has becoming a presidential candidate helped him get more famous or more rich? No. It has helped him get less famous and more hated by a great number of people. So he's not helping himself by becoming president. You know who he's trying to help? This is what he's trying to help. And that's why he's great. That's why Trump is so great. Because Donald Trump is someone, he's a billionaire, you guys. And he could easily just ignore it and keep paying for the pay-to-play and letting the system work in his favor and ignore the common man. Screw us. We don't need jobs. He can keep buying hats from China and getting TVs from the Philippines and make do. And sure, he's going to have to pay more taxes and hide more of his money overseas. But he's rich. He can afford to do that. He doesn't need to take his whole life and put it on the line for us, the average American citizen who needs a country that can provide a job, who can provide a better life for our family, who can provide education for our children, who can provide safety and security and the liberty and freedom that our founders promised us. He's putting everything on the line, risking his entire empire to help us make America a functional place again. So, is he doing it just for publicity? Why does Barry Soetoro, why does Barack Obama suck so much being president? One, he's a corrupt Chicago politician who was just put in place to continue to play the little puppet game. Back and forth, these two parties. They play establishment puppetry, and Barack Obama was the next puppet they knew they could pull the strings on. So, I won't remember your name. And you should chime in on inaugural day when we're like, woo, because everybody's going to be really excited on this show on that day. And then try to tell me, and then I can tell you I told you so then. I'm not going out of my way to tell you I told you so. We're just going to make America great. So, is that a question? What about the Mexican judge? What about the Mexican judge? Are you talking about the judge who is a member of La Raza, an organization, multiple organizations, the Hispanic Lawyers Association, multiple organizations who have openly stated that they are trying to not only thwart the Trump presidency, but Trump's businesses? Is that who you're talking about? The judge that is involved in the Trump University case. Yes, that individual, that Hispanic judge, okay, that everyone's so worried about, he is a member of an organization that has an open statement claiming that they want to destroy Donald Trump. Now, I don't know about you, but any judge who is part of a member of an organization that says they want to destroy the defendant in a case he's presiding over should recuse himself. Does that have any... Did I mention his race? Did I mention his race one time? Yes, he's an American. He's an American citizen. That is correct. He is also the member of an organization who has openly stated they are trying to destroy Donald Trump. That is a conflict of interest. Has nothing to do with his race. It has to do with his personal, organizational affiliations. Now, were his affiliations based on race? Yes. Yes, he is part of a Hispanic illegal immigration supporting organization. Yeah, that's true. But he's the racist. The judge is the racist. Donald Trump is just trying to let you guys know that there's a conflict of interest. So, is that a question? I'm going to wait for a question. You got a question on that? Is the question, does Donald Trump need to release his taxes? No. No, he does not. He legally has zero obligation to release his taxes whatsoever. In fact, the financial statements that he's already released are far more involved than his taxes. This is merely a game by Hillary Clinton. Frankly, I don't think Donald Trump should even try to release the taxes. See, I ignored you and I moved on because I already answered that question. I don't think Donald Trump should even try to release his taxes, and Hillary Clinton has released 33,000 emails, or her Wall Street speeches, or the financials of the Clinton Foundation, and the full financials. Who are they donating to? Where's the money going? Who's being paid out? I mean, you guys, we just had a member of the State Department who's running errands for the Clinton Foundation. We just found out about this in recent leaks. And it's like, oh, why are we blaming Hillary Clinton for being corrupt with the Clinton Foundation and the State Department? Well, this is why. Because you have State Department officials playing puppy dog and errand boy for the Clinton Foundation. That is a mind-numbing conflict of interest. That is pay to play. That's corruption. That's what you guys don't want. So, all right. So let's move on. Let's do hotties, you guys. I only have a little bit of battery, and I gotta go and deal with these neighbors. They're just loud. Otherwise, I'll just be loud all day. This hottie, this is one of my personal friends. I adore her, and there are Trump hotties of all shapes, sizes, colors, races. But this is just my little friend, and we're friends on Facebook, and I adore her. And she sent me a picture of her, and I'm like, well, you're going to be the Trump hottie. And she's like, no, I'm not cute enough. And I'm like, screw that, yeah, sure. So I'm going to let you guys decide. See? She's super cute. That's my girl. See? Isn't she adorable? Yeah, I'm going to post it on the Trump Talk page. You guys give her a bunch of ups. She's going to feel totally positive about that. See, Philly, no, you keep saying that. There are multiple organizations. You go, the Hispanic Prosecutors Association. There are multiple organizations. Not just La Raza. You guys got to do your homework. Seriously. Yeah, I know. This is the thing with Trump hotties, is that a lot of Trump hotties wear the hat. That's how you know that they're for Trump. Otherwise, it'd just be a girl with, I mean, not everybody's going to do a whole thing behind a flag like me. That's me. So, and I'm not really a hat girl. You should see this hair. If you see this hair now, imagine it with hat head. Oh my gosh. So you guys, here. Haters, if you would like to continue the discussion, you can stalk me on Twitter. Yeah, you liberals really need to research your candidate. How about just watch Clinton Cash or Clinton's America? Either one of these would be really, really great. I've explained to you. There's a Hispanic prosecutors organization. You should look up what organizations he's involved with and see which ones of them have open letters opposing Trump. Just look it up. I don't have to do your homework for you. There's already information available to you. You can email me the information you find right here, trumptalkus@gmail.com. When you've done your homework, you can send it to me. So, and of course, you can see all of our back episodes. No, I know I'm not wrong because you're just lazy and don't want to do your homework. See, the research it takes, this is how, let's just talk about it. Oh, all of our back shows, www.trumptalk.us. The reason I know you haters say you do the research and you don't, because I know how long it takes to do the research, because I'm actually doing the research in order to do this show. So I know how long it takes people to actually find the information, because I know how long it took me, and I have 175 IQ. So, I know you're not smarter than me, and I know you're not faster than me. So go actually do the homework, and then on Monday when we do a new show, talk to me about it, or send me an email, and we'll talk about it that way. Or go on the Facebook page, and we'll talk about it that way. But don't try to tell me you did your homework in 3 seconds when I know you didn't. Because that's ridiculous. Do I think, I'll answer this, and then me and little Trumpy got to go. Do I think that Donald Trump is going to do well even though he's down in the polls? Yeah, because I don't believe any of these polls. Oh, Philly says he's an attorney and so he knows everything. See, Philly, you don't know. You don't know. That's you attorneys are one of the most arrogant people, and you think you know and you don't bother to do your homework. That's probably why you're here online right now instead of actually busy getting ready to get up early in the morning and do a case, because lots of people are attorneys. Not everybody actually works in the field. I know I'm sure you know lots of attorneys. The type of people who are attorneys pretty much can only stand hanging out with other attorneys. So this is the question I was going to ask. Am I worried about Donald Trump being down in the polls? We're going to move on to that, and I'm going to close with that. No, I'm not. And we did our 3-point plan, our 3 points why I'm not worried about that just yesterday, and I'll do them again. I'm happy to repeat them every single night. Reason number one, I'm not worried Donald Trump is down in the polls. The polls are being skewed. They're weighting them Democrat heavy. They're polling more Democrats than the Republicans. This is not a Republican conspiracy that they're coming up with. Democratic strategists are reporting on this and informing us that, in fact, that isn't the case in several polls. Number two, when you skew the polls, you skew the average polls. So you skew the first polls, so he's not really down in those polls. Those polls are fake. Then the average polls become skewed. So then they can say, oh, he's down in the average polls, because if I make a really skewed poll, it affects the average. So also, not down in the polls. Thirdly, and I think most relevant, the reverse Bradley effect. And we talk about this on the show all the time. That's so true. Donald Trump is a strong character. Liberals have just weakness. We're not strong on any of those things. This is one of the reasons that the reverse Bradley effect is happening. When you call, they did a study. I'm going to try to find the details of it so I can post it. But the study has been done. When a human voice calls for the poll and asks you, are you voting for Donald Trump? You are 6% less likely, or 6 points less likely to say yes than if a robot does. That means when a machine asks you, people are saying yes. What that means, that is the reverse Bradley effect. Bradley effect was when they did the polls, they took the polls, everyone said, I'm going to vote for this guy. When the election happened, nobody voted for him. The reverse Bradley effect would be when you take the poll, everybody says, no, I'm not voting for that guy. And yet they are, at about 6 to 7%, going to show up more than the polls are actually showing. More than each poll is actually showing, particularly polls taken by a voice or individual. So between those three things, skewed polls, skewed average polls, and the reverse Bradley effect, Trump is not down in the polls. He's up. And he's going to do very well in the election. In fact, I suspect a landslide, which is why we're going to keep getting out the vote, because we're not going to let you haters take us all down. Hillary Clinton lane. And I have about three bets. But you know what? I don't bet with lawyers because they cheat and they don't follow up on their bets. Sorry. So that's our show, you guys. As I said, you can feel free communicate with me here. You can go to the page, Trump Talk US on Facebook. Please friend us there. Please share the show. This is our 78th episode. And we're going to keep doing it. We got 85 more days. So there's going to be, at least 75, 80 more episodes. I'm going to be on vacation this week, but I'm going to try to do our show both Monday and Tuesday. I might miss one of those days, but we're going to keep it up because we got to keep getting the vote out. We have a very limited time to make America great again. And you know how important that is. So important. Go Trump. Go Trump. Love you guys. See you again on Monday.